Their cuts to Medicaid affects the 90-10 version of the Medicaid expansion. And also what they're doing is the support that people get for their health care, their Obamacare, is gone. So people that are used to paying $120 to $200 with supported health care, right? It's going to be $800 to $900 now. Who are the ones that are the losers in this bill? Let's go ahead and play that, and then that will be the closer.
The contrast between who it will help and who it will hurt is coming into focus. The mega bill poised to deliver major tax benefits to corporations and wealthy Americans, but at a heavy cost to Medicaid, food stamps, and clean energy, with millions of lower income Americans potentially losing health coverage. Joining us now is NBC's Melanie Zanona on Capitol Hill. Back with us, Peter Baker and Michael Hardaway. So, Melanie, walk us through, as it stands now, who stands to win and who stands to lose with this bill?
Yeah, obviously things are still a bit fluid. The fact that the Senate has to still put this bill through the House. But as it is, there would be some pretty wide-ranging impacts on the country. So I want to walk you through some of the people who have the biggest to gain under this bill and the biggest to lose. I want to start with corporations because a centerpiece of this bill is extending the 2017 tax cuts. But this would actually make the corporate tax breaks from the 2017 tax law permanent. So that means the corporate tax rate is going to remain at 21%, which is down from the 35% level that was in place prior to 2017. But in order to pay for these tax cuts, Republicans had to make some pretty steep spending cuts to the social safety net programs. And that includes restricting the provider tax or the provider fee, which is a pretty big source of revenue for rural hospitals. So they could be hit very hard underneath this bill. That was a huge concern for some moderates. But I will point out one of the last minute deals and one of the amendments that was adopted in the Senate today was an extra $50 billion pot of money to try to help those rural hospitals. Now let's talk about households, because under this bill, the highest income earners will actually see their household resources increase, whereas the bottom income earners will actually see their household resources go down because of cuts to things like Medicaid and food stamps and other healthcare programs. And finally, let's go over the business piece of this. Fossil fuel companies, they're going to get a lot of relief under this bill because it would roll back some of those Biden era regulations that have been put in place, whereas clean energy companies are no longer going to be able to receive some tax subsidies and funding that were put in place underneath the Biden administration. So warnings from people like Lisa Murkowski that clean energy projects could be at risk underneath this bill.
Thank you for that. Well, let's talk, if we can, Michael, about Lisa Murkowski, who indicated in a conversation with one of our reporters on the Hill, Ryan Nobles, that it's good for her constituents, but she acknowledged it's probably bad for a lot of the rest of the country. Markwayne Mullin, who's from Oklahoma, and I just randomly Googled Oklahoma and rural hospitals. Here's some of the headlines. Trump's budget bill could make it harder for Oklahomans to access health care. No time to plan for the fallout of potential Medicaid cuts. Oklahoma healthcare leaders warn rural hospitals could shut down. So when, again, our folks went to Markwayne Mullin and asked him about his yes vote, this is what he said. What we were trying to do the entire time was to negotiate a bill that wasn't perfect, but moved us in the right direction. How do you read those comments from these Republican senators who decided to vote yes?
Lack of courage. This bill is a garbage casserole. In addition to taking healthcare away from 12 million Americans, you have 500,000 healthcare professionals that will lose their jobs. This is a job-killing bill. You also have 800,000 energy jobs that will be lost as well because of this bill. No one's happier right now than Xi Jinping in China because they are now positioned to win the future because of Donald Trump and because of this bill.
Are you going to go that
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's because China is investing heavily in EV and in clean energy right now. And because of Joe Biden, America was positioned to win. Donald Trump is pulling us back. He's investing heavily in oil and gas, the energy of the past that we still kind of need. But for the future, what is the plan for the future? That's the issue here.
Folks, everything that Donald Trump is doing right now is exactly right. What that panelist had to say was correct. It's pulling us to the past. It is pulling us to the past. So, folks, we have to understand what is going on here.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.